Hello, hello. We are talking about business models today. What your business model looks like, why you should have a business model, all of the things around a business model. This is a quick 10-minute training. My name is Kara Laws. I am a business educator. I teach women all of the steps in the correct order to make sure they have a really solid business foundation. A business foundation allows you to make more money and do less work if it's a good business foundation. All right, on to business models. So, a business model is the way that you deliver your goods and services. It's the way that you've structured your business to carry out the business. There is no right model for everyone. You need to choose the best option for your business. So, some examples of business models, because it's always a little confusing when we first start talking about business models. My business model is based on a 3-month cycle. So every 3 months, I launch my academy. I have a 6-month academy for women to go through to make sure they are building this good business foundation. I target small, newer businesses. Those are my favorite businesses to work with. And I like to help them avoid problems along the way. Mine is based on a 3-month cycle. For about 3-4 weeks, I push really, really hard. I sign a ton of people up. I teach a bunch of workshops. And then once that's all done, I kind of have about 8 weeks in between. That's a lot more chill and calm. That goes really well with who I am as a person. It fits what I need as a mom and a business owner, all those types of things. I also like that I can push my team really hard, but I'm not always pushing them every single day. It's not go, go, go. We kind of have a break. So that works really well for me. I like to deliver my services through an online platform. That's how I like to do it. I don't like to coach one-on-one very much, so I have chosen an online pre-recorded video platform. That's what I do. That is my business model. That doesn't work for everybody. Some people want an evergreen model if you're doing education like I am. They want an evergreen model where people can come in and sign up at any time and all of the advertising is automated and everything just kind of runs. Some people really like that. Other people really prefer one-on-one. It's totally fine. You get to choose what works best for you. However, if you don't have a business model, it makes it really hard to figure out your marketing. It makes it really hard to know how to speak to people about what you do. It makes it hard to even structure your website because you don't know what your business as a whole is going to look like. This is the second thing that we really talk about in the whole entire academy because it's so important that you have a solid business model. Let me give you another example. There are 2 cookie franchises where I live. One of them is called Swig. They do a lot of sodas and cookies. That's like their thing. They have 2 different types of cookies. They have a sugar cookie with pink frosting, and then they have a chocolate chip cookie. That's their business model. They have 2 cookies, and then you drive up to get your cookies and your soda because cookies and soda go together. But that's what you do. That's their whole business model. They have those 2 things. It's always the same. It always looks the same. You always can expect the exact same things. There's another company called Crumble. Crumble also makes cookies. Their 2 main cookies are exactly the same, a chocolate chip cookie and a sugar cookie with pink frosting on top. Their business model is entirely different. They are all about delivering to you hot, fresh cookies, unique and weird cookies, that type of thing. So they have 4 or 5 different cookies that are completely crazy every single week. And they have this cute little box that they come in because they want to sell all of the new cookies in one set. So you're buying the whole thing and coming to pick those up or getting them delivered. That's their business model. Their business model is new cookies all of the time. And this is how we're presenting them to you. It's different. If Swig was trying to do a new cookie every time, they have to change their entire business. They have to, well, not their entire business, but they're going to need to change a lot of things in order for all of their franchises to be able to support that. Crumble knew from the beginning they were making different cookies. That was a very quick thing that they implemented. So all of their systems and all of their structure and all of their marketing is around that. We have new stuff every week and it's fun and exciting and weird. And Swig isn't about that. That's not what they're saying. So they've created a different structure. They have a different marketing plan. They have a whole different system because of their business model. So before we get into marketing and even branding and especially systems, you have to know what your business model looks like. What are you trying to build? Are we trying to build something small that just supports us seasonally? Are we trying to build something huge that we can turn into franchises? Are we trying to build something big enough that we can sell and retire on? Is this a one-man show? Are there a bunch of people in here? How are you getting your customers your stuff? Are you an online business? Do you want to be brick and mortar? There's so many questions. You have to be able to establish what your business model is so you can answer all these questions and make sure you're headed in the right direction. Here are some of the questions I want you to be asking yourself. If you have already downloaded the workbook, go download the workbook or checklist. And it's just the Business Foundation checklist. There should be a link somewhere in here. I'll make sure there's a link either in the captions or I'll put a button on the video for you guys. Make sure you download that Business Foundation checklist. The third page, I think in there, this is section 2, talks all about your business model. You want to go through that and answer all of the questions so you know what you're creating and you know what you're building. One of the big questions that I like to ask is, what does your ideal work week look like? So are you working for 3 hours? Are you working 40-hour weeks? Are you working 60-hour weeks? What are you doing right now? And what do you want that to turn into? And if you're like, I want to be able to work 3 hours a week to maintain my business, cool. You're going to have to make sure you have crazy good systems. How are you going to implement that? What are you doing? Are you having super high ticket items? Are you having a lot of people who work underneath you? Are you having a completely automated business that only needs you to maintain the automation? We kind of have to figure out what that looks like. If you're like, no, I plan on working 40 hours a week in my business, cool. You're still going to need systems, but not to the same extreme as someone who says they want to work 3. Make sense? Okay, the next one that I want to touch on is, how will you deliver your goods and services? Are you allowing people to shop online? Do you hand deliver? Are they picking up in your store? Are you the one personally there teaching the class, doing the magic show, whatever that looks like? Do you need to be there physically? Are you there virtually? Is everything pre-recorded? What do all of these things look like? How are you delivering your goods and services? And also, this isn't on the list. How do people order your goods and services? How do they shop with you? What does that look like? How did they get to that point? All of those things. How does this work? What is the entire model? And then what will be your busy time? That should say busy time. Your busiest time in the year. What does that look like? So are you going to be a seasonal business? Are you a Christmas type business that sells wrapping paper? Are you a plant and seed business that's really busy in the spring and in the summer? Are you a greenhouse? What does that look like? Do you have a busy time? For me, I'm busy every 3 months. That's my busy time. That's what that looks like. And I can maintain that. I can do that really well. Some people don't want to do that. That's too much for them, or they don't want to be busy all the time. If you're a restaurant, you have 2 busy times every day. So you need to know what that looks like for you. I have a client that I'm working with now. She doesn't want to do a ton of work. She has a bunch of kids. She doesn't want to do a ton of work, but she really wants to see what she can do with her product. I suggested that she start running a seasonal business. Run a seasonal business. So push really hard for 3 months out of the year and take a break. That is totally a valid and good business model if that's what she wants to create. I also want you to ask yourself, what lifestyle are you looking for? So this goes back to my client who has a lot of kids and doesn't want to spend her whole life every week working in her business. Seasonal works better for her. For me, the 3-month cycle works really well. If you are looking to be able to travel and work, you need a business that can travel with you, that can go with you where everything's online. You need online systems. You need online access to everything, not stored on a computer, but on a cloud. All of those kinds of things. Are you carrying inventory? If you're not carrying inventory, are you doing custom work? Are you doing made to order work? What does your system look like to get everyone into that? What does your model look like? I want you guys to go through and answer all of these questions. Answer all of these questions, and at the bottom of this page, really write out, how do you want your business to run? How are people shopping with you? How are you delivering your goods and services? What does your overall business look like? What is your goal for your business? Do you want your business to be casual? Do you want it to be really intense? Are you growing really fast? All of these questions completely change how you're running your business. So we kind of have to know this. This is such a huge piece of that foundation. I also want you to remember that your business is fluid. Sometimes we're like, nope, I made this plan and it works exactly like this. It's okay to get into something and then be like, oh, custom work is really hard. I want to see what we can do in wholesale. I want you guys to give it a big enough shot that you really know before you move on. But it's okay to pivot. It's okay to make little changes and tweaks. We have to start with a goal. We have to know where you're headed first. We have to know what your business model looks like. What does your business model look like? What do you need right now? I want you to sit down and figure that out. Your next steps are to make sure you download the Business Foundation checklist. I'll make sure you have a link to that, and then fill out that page. Download the checklist, fill out that page, and figure out what your business model is and what you are looking for.